So what I want to deal with today is the 5 ways for you to stop procrastinating and actually finish your book or any project that you're working on. And it could be launching your book. It could be building a course from your book. It could be getting on PR and media with your book. It could be any number of things if you've already finished your book. It's the thing that is causing you to be stuck. All right, hey everybody, Rob Kosberg here, Bestseller Publishing. Happy to bring you, I think, an important topic, one that many of you face in writing and completing your book, but not just in the completion of your book, but all of the steps necessary to begin making money with your book, to begin making the kind of impact and income, as we like to say at BSP, that you can potentially make with your book. This may be a little surprising to some of you it won't be surprising to, but I've talked to dozens of authors over the years who've actually completed their book and never published it. And they did that because the writing portion of their book for them was easier to accomplish than the actual publishing, book launch and promotion, media PR, money making, etc., etc., etc. That to me was always a little bit surprising because for me, and probably for most of you, the actual writing part of the book is challenging. Here's the important thing. The important thing is there are difficult things that you're faced with. And because they're difficult, or maybe for some other reason that we're going to go over today, you and I can tend to procrastinate. So what I want to deal with today is the 5 ways for you to stop procrastinating and actually finish your book or any project that you're working on. And it could be launching your book. It could be building a course from your book. It could be getting on PR and media with your book. It could be any number of things if you've already finished your book. It's the thing that is causing you to be stuck. Now, I read this article in Psychology Today. I'm actually going to give you a link to the article so you can see it, but I really enjoyed the article. I've adjusted some of these things. Not that I'm a trained psychologist. I am certainly not. I only play one on television. However, I did adjust a few of these things because I think they're more applicable with a little bit of adjustment for authors. I do know authors. So I want to give you 5 things to think about that may be causing your procrastination, and then 5 ways to deal with it and overcome it and maybe think about it a little bit different. So number one is you have to understand that what you're doing is when you're procrastinating, you are prioritizing the thing that is urgent over the thing that is important. What I mean by that, many of you know exactly what I mean by that, but what I mean by that is maybe you've seen a matrix in the past that talks about items that are urgent and important, items that are not urgent but not important, etc. There are 4 basic areas that you can fit in. And what we do when we procrastinate is we are placing priority over whatever is going on urgently over what really could be important in our lives. The thing in our life that could really help us to get to the next level, the thing in our life that maybe we've had as a goal or ambition for a long, long time. And of course, I'm talking about a book. So how do you deal with prioritizing the urgent things over the important? The number one way that you deal with that is you have to look at the big picture and keep in sight your goals, your values, and your ongoing responsibilities. One thing that I like to talk to my authors about when they're struggling with procrastination is what I want you to understand is that your book, and you know this, can lead to incredible things only if it's completed, only if it's launched properly, only if it gets in the hands of the ideal client that you have or the ideal reader that you have. And so there are all these steps along the way that you must accomplish to do that. If you don't do it, the responsibility that you have to be the best you can be for your spouse, for your son, for your daughter, for your friends, for the people whose lives you could change with your content, you are losing sight of the big picture of helping those people and living up to your responsibilities, living up to your goals, living up to your own values. When we prioritize urgent over important, we are putting those other things aside. So take a step back when you are thinking about what is urgent and you see yourself over hours, days, weeks, maybe even months, putting aside the important task of completing your book, using your book, making a difference with your book, then take a step back and say, you know what? Am I really considering other people? Am I really considering what my goal is here? Am I really considering the value that I could bring to others? That's number one. Number two, as far as the things that challenge us with procrastination and the ways to finish to overcome it, is oftentimes we don't know how to start, or we don't know the next steps to take in the process. Now, hopefully that's not true for my bestseller publishing clients, but if you're watching this, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a BSP client. You may not know the very first step to take when it comes to writing your book. I've talked to so many people that think that all they really need to do is sit down at the desk and begin writing. They begin writing, and oftentimes they're 1, 2, 10 pages in, and they don't know where to go from there. And that's because they never really built a framework. They never really had things in place in the beginning. So if you have this sense, this fear, this I just don't know what the next step is, then you have to do something about that. You can look at it like really rationally and say, okay, I don't know what the next steps are. Where can I, one, find out what the next steps are to take? And number two, where can I get the coaching, the help, the assistance to actually take me through this process? Some of you became bestseller publishing clients because of my first challenge that I did, the Publish, Promote, Profit 7-Day Book Challenge. And I'm actually starting a brand new challenge this week, which is cool. We're going to open it up on Thursday. So I'm really excited about that. We just opened the group up today. The point that I'm making about that is it's a completely free resource, and it is me teaching for 90 minutes a day over a 10-day period. So much free and amazing content. All people need to do is consume. Go on YouTube, go on Google. You can learn the next steps to take. Then what you have to do is you have to be okay emotionally and mentally. You have to be okay with working in a little bit of the unknown. So once you figure out what the next step is, you may not know step 3, 4, 5, and 6, but you know what you should be doing right now, then you have to be okay and make yourself okay that it's totally fine. Emotionally, it's totally fine that I don't know all of where this is going. I only know that I'm going to complete the task in front of me right now. That's number 2. Number 3, ways to stop procrastinating and finish your book or project is we are often challenged because we can be afraid to fail or afraid of embarrassment and what other people think. You might also call this perfectionism. Being a perfectionist is an absolute killer to productivity. I say over and over and over again to my clients, done is always better than perfect. I pulled this off the shelf. This is one of my original copies of Life After Debt when I wrote this book. And I say it's one of my original copies, and I'm almost embarrassed to show you. I mean, the formatting of it is awful. This was before bestseller publishing. This is when I wrote my very first book, now 12 years ago, published it myself, didn't know what the heck I was doing, just put one foot in front of the other. When I look at it today, I am a bit embarrassed, especially as a publisher who has launched successfully over 1,000 books for my clients. I'm a Wall Street Journal best-selling author now. And I look at this and I'm a little embarrassed, but you know what? I'm so thankful that I took the steps and I said, you know what? I need to accomplish this. I need to get it done. Because if you know the story, you know that I used that book to do over $1 million in revenue with a brand new business at the height of the financial collapse and crisis back in 2008 and 2009. This book was what changed everything for me and led to even the place I'm at right now with bestseller publishing and multiple other best-selling books that I've written and created myself, which are, if I do say so myself, much better than this one. Now, I have actually had this re-edited. I've had it redone because I wanted to put my best foot forward. But you've got to deal with this fear fear of embarrassment, right? Or perfectionism. Untangle your performance from your self-worth, okay? What you are worth as a person and as an individual has nothing to do with how you're going to perform on something you've never done before. Everybody sucks at the thing that they've never done before. Everyone does, okay? So it's totally fine if what you're doing can be better with the second iteration or the third iteration. You can just release yourself from that pain and that anxiety and know the first time somebody does anything, it's going to be challenging. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be great. That's why we have editing, right? That's why we put other sets of eyes on something. So let that go. Untangle your performance on something, especially something you're doing for the first time, with your self-worth. They have nothing to do with each other. Number 4, some of us may actually say, and it may be true, I for one, I think this is true of me, is some of us may say, well, we work better under pressure. So it's okay to procrastinate because if I set myself goals, then when the time comes to, really accomplish that goal, I'm going to make it happen. That may be true. And you may be somebody that works better under pressure. And there have certainly been studies where some people do perform better when they put pressure on themselves or when they get to the end of a time-limited goal and they have to actually perform. Maybe that's you. But all you need to do is look back at your performance history when it comes to completing your book or when it comes to this project, this specific project that you want to get done, and you need to say to yourself, am I failing at this because I've decided that I'm going to wait until I'm under pressure, or have I just let the other 3 or 4 things really take precedence and I'm not overcoming this issue of procrastination? If you do work better under pressure, great. Then put a more narrow space of time between you and the accomplishment of it, right? Because work will grow to fill the space that you give it. So if you give yourself 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc., to get something done, let's say that you want to complete the table of contents for your book and you want to do it in a period of 2 weeks, you know what? You can absolutely do that. Put the pressure on yourself to get that done. Start taking small bites and taking a step forward there. Number 5 and last is whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish, and this is certainly true with getting your book written, it's hard. Okay, it's hard. It's hard to write a book. It's hard to write a book even for those that hire us and our professional ghostwriting team to get it done. It's even hard for those people to get their book completed. It's hard for me to get my books done, even though I have access to all these amazing resources, 12+ writers, editors, those that can help me with design, etc., etc. It's hard. It's difficult. And yes, there are other things at times that we would like to be doing, right? There's the things that we find enjoyable in our lives or even in our businesses. But oftentimes it's the things that are hard that matter the most. So here's the way I like to look at it for myself, and maybe this would be helpful for you. When I'm doing something fun, I'm doing that thing. I play golf once or twice a week now. Usually Thursdays is a golf morning for me, and Saturdays is a golf morning for me. When I'm doing this challenge group, for example, I am still teaching on Thursdays and I'm teaching on Saturdays. But when I'm at golf, that's all I'm thinking about. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it. Now, I may not be able to enjoy a nice cigar after the round of golf. I may have to cut lunch short, right? Because I need to get back and I need to be ready and I need to be prepared. And here in Florida, it's hot, so I need to be showered up and cleaned up. But while I'm on the golf course, I'm enjoying that. I'm focused on that. And when I'm off, it's time to get to work. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's challenging. But I enjoy my time and I end it. And when it's over, then I get to focus on the task at hand. Whatever that is for you, if that's watching something on Netflix, or if that's something in your business that you find to be easier and more enjoyable, well, enjoy that and do it. But when that comes to an end, right, it's over, and now start your next project. And I love using a calendar. Not everybody does, but I love using a calendar and I love timing myself. I know I need to work on my book project from this time to this time. Now, there may be a lot of other things that I would prefer to do because it is hard to do that piece of it, but this is my time to do it. So we need to do what is hard. We need to embrace what is hard, even though there may be enjoyable things. Enjoy while it's time to enjoy, but then work while it's time to work. So 5 ways to stop procrastinating and finish your book. Number 1, understand that you're prioritizing the urgent over the important. Take a step back, really look at the big picture, really think about it. Number 2, you may not know where to start or the next steps to take. 2 things to think about. 1 is you can learn the step to take right now. It's usually not the problem of what do I do right now that is stopping you. It's the fear of step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Make it okay with yourself that you don't know everything going forward. You're just going to take this one bite, one piece at a time. Number 3, don't be afraid of failure or embarrassment. Separate yourself. Separate your performance at this new thing from your self-worth. They have nothing to do with each other. You may be the best at it in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th iteration, but right now when it's new, it's going to be difficult. Yes, you may work, number 4, well under pressure, but you know what? If that's the case, then put yourself under pressure more often so you can get things accomplished. If not, don't use that as an excuse. And then number 5, yes, what we need to do is hard, but embrace the difficulty. Enjoy when it's time to enjoy, then embrace the difficulty of accomplishing your task. Those are the 5 ways to stop procrastinating. A lot of it is emotional energy, a lot of it is mental energy, a lot of it is looking at things just a little bit differently. So let me suggest, whatever it is that you're stuck on right now, it may be one or more of these things that's causing you to be stuck. Take a look at it, do a little self-evaluation, figure out what the thing is for you, and then get to work. I'm Rob Kosberg, Bestseller Publishing. Good to be with you. Let me know what one thing was most helpful for you. Maybe leave a comment below or something like that. And we'll see if that thing can turn it around, get you to get your book accomplished, your course, become a bestseller, all the things that can really make a difference in your life and in the lives of others. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Every week, we're posting tons more content to help you to publish, promote, and profit. So go ahead and subscribe now to the channel and click the bell icon to be notified whenever new content is available. And if you're interested in my latest book, Publish, Promote, Profit, just go to publishpromoteprofit.com.